Good morning, welcome to TERRA Home. We're joined by Scott MacDonald from Scott's Canada, and nice to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
We want to talk about lawn care today, and as of course we are in August now and edging towards obviously late summer and fall, we need to focus on our lawn. And again, sometimes people focus for just a brief moment on their lawn and expect to do wonderful things.
Yes.
But we want to just talk about, yes, there is a bit of a pattern, and if you want the perfect lawn, you do need to follow some steps. You need to take some, and you know, one thing that we really want to focus on is that avoiding problems. So before it was like, you know what, lawn's a giant mess, let's fix it.
Yes.
But now it's like, let's just avoid those problems, period.
Yeah, and the reality is these days there aren't as many solutions to fix problems. So we want to try and get people out of that sort of problem-solution mindset and get them into simple, proactive routines that they do a few times throughout the season that will prevent all of those problems in the first place. So it's really a preventative maintenance type message we want to get across.
Okay, so at this point in the season, we want to talk about overseeding. So what exactly is that?
Yeah, so it's one of those simple preventative steps that actually adds new plants and new life to your lawn. So it's going to fill in the bare spots, make your entire lawn thicker, and once you achieve that, you are far less susceptible to weeds, drought damage, and many other problems.
Okay.
So you're really rejuvenating that lawn, getting it thick, adding new grass plants, and preventing, you know, not just things from this season, but things for the season to come too.
Yes, and that's another big message too, is what you do now. Again, every time you do these extra little steps, your lawn is only going to get better and better each year. So it's not just for the season. It's not like winter sets us right back to square one.
Yes.
If you are doing these steps, and again, in another segment coming up on another TERRA show, we are going to be talking about preparing really for winter.
Right.
But right now, we do want to focus on this sort of, again, late summer going into fall overseeding. So let's talk about the steps involved for overseeding, and really, this is a really important time and a method to really give yourself a better lawn.
Yes. So as you get into late August and early September, perfect time to add grass seed to your lawn. So referred to as overseeding. It's really about, it's a couple things. One is buying the right grass, first of all. So two things to that. One is quality. So all grass seed is not the same. You do get what you pay for. So you want to pick a high quality mix, you know, from a reputable brand like Scott's. And the difference is these seeds are specifically bred to have, you know, better color, better thickness, better resistance to disease, drought, all of those things. So they really are better grass seeds. Secondly, so if you buy the right quality, then you have to buy the right mix for your area. So whether you get a lot of sun, full sun all day, or a lot of shade, there are different mixes that suit those situations, and there's some in between there as well.
So you have to know your property, know what you're dealing with, because some people get really intense heat, afternoon sun on their lawn, so you need to know that.
And if you choose the wrong grass seed for that situation, you won't be happy with the results.
And you're going to do all these steps, and you're not going to achieve what you should be.
Yes, yes. So quality and the right mixture are the first things. So secondly, as far as overseeding goes, there's really a simple, basic way to do it. And those steps would be cut your lawn short, rake all of the clippings and all the debris out of the lawn as best you can, apply that grass seed, and then keep it moist for 2 to 3 weeks. Keeping it moist is the key of all of those things. Keeping it moist is the key thing.
Okay, so that's the quick method.
That's the quick method. You'll get good results.
Yes.
If you actually want to take the extra step and make sure you get great results, the things that I would add, so after you cut it and rake it, apply a layer of quality lawn soil, so about 1 inch to 2 inches over the entire lawn. Then apply the grass seed, so that's going to ensure the grass seed makes contact with that soil and it's able to root and it's able to get a strong start. And then apply a Scott's Turf Builder starter fertilizer. So starter fertilizer is specifically formulated to help new grass plants grow. It helps with the root development. And then finally, again, water. Keep it moist for that 2 to 3 weeks.
We're talking about some people get a little bit lazy, right? So they water for a couple of days and then they're like, oh, that's good.
Yes, everybody has good intentions. They start out well, and then after a few days or maybe even a week, they stop watering. So it's really important to follow through. As you said, you put all that work into it up front, so follow through with those watering steps and you'll be very satisfied with the results. One of the products we have is Scott's Turf Builder coated grass seed.
Yeah, so some people, when would you use that?
Yeah, so you can use it at any time actually. I refer to it as a little sort of insurance policy. So the seed is coated with a highly absorbent material,
Right.
so it's going to retain and hold water better.
Okay.
So
So if you're being a little bit lazy,
if you miss a day, if you go away for the weekend, you know, etc., then then that just helps the process.
okay, that's good.
So yeah, water, water, water.
Water, water, water.
Yes.
So again, following those steps is really going to ensure and prepare you for the winter. So, you know, as we were talking, like we had a rough winter last year, and
We
it was
did.
tough. We, you know, I've done some interviews where we were talking to the folks from, Copetown Woods, and how a lot of the golf courses around, depending on what kind of grass they use,
Correct, yes.
serious damage to
Yes,
the greens, right?
yes.
Because the ice didn't allow the grass to breathe. But
Right.
it was interesting how most people's lawns did okay by it. But is that just depending on the type of grass, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's very dependent on the type of grass, you know, and the amount of. One of the things that's really important is to not let too much snow build up in one area.
Right.
You know, so you do, you know, easier said than done, but you don't want to pile all of the snow in the same spot because that's going to, you know, the
suffocates the
compression,
grass, right?
suffocating, etc. Yes, so you want to, if you can, spread those snow
So
piles out
something
a
to
little
think
bit.
about, right, as we go into the winter. Now,
Right.
also, you guys have, for people, just certain areas of the grass that you need to address for patching.
Yeah, if you actually have a pretty good lawn in general and it's nice and thick, but you have some challenging spots, then you want to think about patch repair. So one of the products we have is the Turf Builder Easy Seed product. This is a 3-in-1 combination of highly absorbent mulch, high quality grass seed, and lawn fertilizer. So it's your all-in-one solution.
Okay.
Spread it out a thin layer. Make sure it's a thin layer. A lot of people put it on thick, and that's actually, yeah, that actually doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay.
A thin layer, and again, keep it moist. It turns really dark brown when you water it,
Okay.
and then as it starts to dry, it turns light brown. So don't wait until it gets light brown. Just keep it moist.
Moist.
Keep your eye on it. So you may
Okay.
not have to water it every day because there's a lot of moisture in the fall.
I see.
But keep your eye on it and make sure you keep it moist, and
Okay.
it will grow.
So that's good,
it's a very
especially
easy.
if you have animals that maybe have left a little brown spots and things like that, right?
It works on that one too. Terrific. Yes,
That's
exactly.
always good. Okay, so this is the time of year to be doing it. Get outside, take care of your lawn, prepare it for the fall, and
Yes.
do all those steps as you suggested. And really, it's almost like an insurance policy for your lawn the next year because it's actually going to give it a little bit of oomph in spring when it needs to breathe and grow.
You will significantly reduce your chances of getting weeds and other issues next year if you take these steps now.
So it's so worth it, right? So just again, as you say, it's all about watering and making sure you stay on top of it. And then once spring comes, you've got the upper hand, right?
Right. And if any of those steps didn't come through clearly, you can always visit scotts.ca. We have them all written there and many other materials to help you.
I was going to say, because that's actually a good idea, because people right now are going, okay, so write this down. And so yeah, we have the short form method
Yes.
and then the long one.
We may have talked too fast and they didn't get it all.
But you know what? You can watch the segment again.
Yes.
And that's the thing. You know what? You guys should put like a sign right by all of your bags of stuff and like, here you go. Write this down, people. Take a picture with your phone.
That's
but yeah,
right.
it really does give people good information. So thank you.
You're
Awesome.
very welcome.
All right, that's it for now. We'll have more TERRA at home right
Thanks.
after this. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of TERRA. Make your dreams come true at TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA Home. I'm here with Ryan Wilson, and you're the head golf pro here at Copetown. And this is such a great course, and you guys have celebrated a great anniversary. You've been here for now, how long?
Last year marked our 10th year.
10th year, that's awesome. I remember when you guys opened, and again, it's nice to see the development of a course, because it does take some time, right, to get to where you want it to be.
Absolutely.
And it really is in a good spot now. And besides your awesome restaurant that everybody in the locals all love to come and eat, it's a great place to golf, obviously.
Yes.
Right? Where we're standing right now is where people can come and have a little practice time, and this is actually a good spot.
It is. It's one of the best manicured driving ranges in the area. Have everything here to suit the needs of the golfer. We have a short game area over here with a sand trap, very large bent grass tee deck here, bent grass target greens, and target bunkers out there as well.
It's a good area.
You can target anything that you need with your golf game.
And that's the great part about it, is you do need to have that one-on-one time, because a lot of times people are going out, in their foursomes and they're playing a game, and it's a different structure. Sometimes it's business oriented, or it's just a bunch of pals and having a beer and playing a game. But sometimes you realize your frustrations when you're out there.
Yes.
And you need to come here and tweak it.
For sure.
Okay, so but beyond that, when you can't just get it yourself, you guys run a lot of clinics. That's what we're going to talk about today,
Yes.
And that's really helpful and very beneficial to a golfer.
Yep.
All right, so let's start off with, why don't I start off with kids? Because, how young can you get started as a child?
Basically, anywhere from 3-4 years old is a good start. It's just about having fun at that age, but just bringing the kids out to the course, enjoying time, seeing the surroundings, and getting accustomed to it. It's it's a lot of fun, and making it fun for kids and getting them started.
So where would you start with a child? You're not going to take them out in a big course right now, so you want to obviously start with the techniques, just to get them into the game.
Exactly. So having 2 young boys myself, I brought them out here at a very young age, around that same time, and we spent all of our time over by the chipping area, just getting used to putting and chipping and getting in the sand and playing around there, and just having fun, just letting them just do what they do
not
natural.
Too much pressure, right? Because you don't want them turned off the game. As we know, as adults, golf can be a very frustrating game.
Yes, it can be.
Right? It can be, because if one day you're doing something right, and the next day you thought was right is no longer working for you.
That's true.
So you want to get the, especially as a child, which a lot of us as kids weren't introduced to as a young game, as a youngster. So you want to get them in there at ease.
Yes, yes. And most often kids learn by seeing, and they're very good at mimicking myself. So if I'm out swinging and hitting shots, they naturally just pick up the club and watch you, and they do it on their own.
Kids are way better than we are, aren't they?
There's
amazing.
no bad habits.
Right.
So they're starting fresh.
I think that's true. And you know what? I think a lot of times as adults too, we have a lot of other issues going on that we hold on to when we're going to try to start something new, or we're a little bit intimidated. We think as adults we should already know what we're doing. So you feel like sometimes you don't even want to try a new game, because where, as you say, a kid, they have no inhibitions at all, just go for it.
That's right.
Right.
The biggest challenge is finding out if they're left-handed or right-handed. Most kids at this age are ambidextrous and can adapt.
That's
or
totally
adapt
my
anyway.
son too. We're still trying to figure out which hand he should be writing with, right? He's still switching over in the middle, so I can just imagine. You got to kind of get there. So when you're running a clinic, how do these clinics start for children? How do they run?
Yeah, for children, a maximum 6 kids, just so they have good my attention and can keep things in order and safe for the kids, keeping it fun. Basically, I run a 4-week camp. So we touch on putting and chipping and sand play, and then we work our way over to the range and hit full swing. Based on skill level, we will pick a hole later on and go out and actually play a real golf hole. So it's a lot of fun. It gets them out on the big course and driving around in a cart.
Yes,
and,
which I'm sure
it's
they
a lot of
love.
fun.
And again, they get to see all the little elements and techniques that you've taught them put into, and see how it actually flows.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So from start to end.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to let's talk about the ladies, because you're saying you have a huge ladies group following here. That and again, from ladies' days where they're all out golfing together to clinics as well. So let's try that.
So we have a very active ladies league here. There's roughly 250 plus women that frequent our course every Tuesday evening. And with that, I've run season-long clinics for ladies. So every Wednesday, maximum 6 women for 3 different time slots. And we work on everything from strictly short game for a 4-week period, and then the next month we do full swing for a 4-week period. So
that's great.
It's great to start with the short game, work on those basic skills, and then bring it to the full swing. And then I've seen a lot of great improvements with the ladies' games this year with doing these programs.
It's amazing how some people can be so intimidated to get private lessons or to go to a clinic, but once they get into it and they realize, wow, I've been doing that wrong for so long, and sometimes it's just minor tweaking, right?
It is.
But you need somebody, you need a professional to be able to identify that.
Yeah.
And I think that's key. So that's cool, because I can see a lot of the ladies get together as friends, and you make a day of it, right? You come to the clinic and you maybe get out in the course for a bit, have some lunch or dinner, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good times, right?
And if you feel that with women that you don't want to be a part of a larger group, I do semi-private lessons too, where if it's yourself and a friend or yourself and two friends want to come, and we pick off peak times and we can work on whatever they like to work on.
That's great. Awesome. All right, so let's now go, we'll go to the gentleman. So you've got, say, the example of somebody who's been playing the sport for a very long time, but again, old habits. How do you break those old habits? First identifying them, right?
First identifying them. There's a lot of training aids out on the market that are used to get people to be aware of what they're doing. Generally it comes down to basic fundamentals, and that is what makes it enjoyable for everybody. So I tend to start there, look at the basics. Ball flight tells a lot, and when you watch that and the ball is doing a certain thing, that's how I correct it from there.
What are the most common problems people are saying to you when they come to you and they're frustrated? Maybe they had a game, again, it was going fine for a while, even all last season, and they come to you, we're partway through the season now, but all of a sudden, like, something's going wrong. What are you hearing most often?
Most often it's people want to hit the driver. They're hitting it inconsistent off the tee. So generally I bring it back from the driver to the mid-iron game, work on the basics, and then just educate on how to set up properly with the driver, how to make good solid contact, because contact is key.
Sure.
Speed and whatnot and balance comes after, but contact, making it proper, solid every time. I
could see that, and then again, people just want to get that big drive right off, right? And they want to get the big burst out there and just like crank it, but again, if you're not hitting properly, then what's the point?
That's right.
Right?
And I always say, if you're struggling hitting little putts or chips on the green, why do you want to come and hit a driver that you're going to probably miss anyway?
There you go.
So yes, start small, work your way up to the big game. Driver, you only hit maybe 12 times around.
Sure enough, absolutely. Okay, finally, let's just, if people are looking for more information, and want to be part of a clinic, how can they do that? Yeah,
they go to our website, www.copetownwoods.com, under lessons and clinics. All my contact information is there. Registration forms are online as well, so they can sign up right online.
Make it easy, and we have a whole rest of the season to go forward into the fall.
That's right.
Hopefully, we have a good, solid fall.
Thank you.
And just make for a great season. People want to stretch out the season as long, because we don't want another winter like that, right?
No, definitely not.
Thank you so much. Great
My
talking
pleasure.
to you, Ryan
Thank
Wilson.
you.
We'll be back with more Terra at Home right after this. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of Terra. Make your dreams come true at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning, welcome back to Terra at Home. I'm back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegro restaurant in Hamilton, and making a really nice dish here today, something I love. I love salads, I love all combinations of, and I love that there are lots of variety, because basically eat one every day, so you're giving more options right now, right?
There's plenty to do with salad.
Perfect.
Now this one's really nice, because this one you get a little bit of everything. You get a little bit of fruit in there, you got the two different kind of lettuces we're going to use. We have a baby spinach and a baby arugula.
Awesome.
You have some grana padano cheese that we're going to add.
That is some serious cheese there.
That is some serious cheese. That's how we do it.
Can you
Italians
see
do
it?
serious
Let's show off
cheese.
this cheese. Let's show off that cheese. Let's move it over here a little bit. Can you see that? Look at that. That's pretty awesome.
It's a nice piece. So what we're going to do, for the pears, we're going to poach. Now, you can poach pears at pretty much anything you want. This is a recipe that I came up with. I really like this one. It can be used both for dessert and for what we're doing here with a salad. Now, if you're going to do it for dessert, we would sweeten it up a little bit more than what I'm going to do now.
Okay.
But for the salad, we're going to add a bit of sugar, but not as much.
Okay.
And all I'm doing, peeling the pear, put it in my pan,
Oh, so
in the
it's
sauce
setting it in
pot.
whole.
Yeah. If you core it, it will cook faster, but it's a little trickier when you core it. So that's why we leave the core in.
Okay.
This is a little bit more forgiving. So we'll peel this. And it doesn't have to be perfect as long as you get the majority of the skin
Right.
off so that the liquid really gets into the pear and poaches it nicely. So we'll put
So
that
lots
in.
of varieties of pears. So
There are.
you just lean more towards that?
You know what?
or
I lean to the ones that are in season.
in season.
Yeah.
So just go with that. Awesome.
And they do change maybe by a week or week and
Sure.
a half. So
Yeah.
now, what I'm adding now is some Marcella wine. Now, there's two kinds of Marcella. There's a dry Marcella and
Yeah.
a sweeter one. This is the sweeter one.
Okay.
This is the one that you would make tiramisu with as well, cremovo. Okay, so we
Okay.
added that.
All right.
And I have some red wine. That'll add the more acidity, but not as much sweetness. I have some nice cloves. So we'll throw some cloves into this.
Sounds good.
Actually, we'll add a little bit more
I love
red
this because
wine.
it's going to take us through sort of late summer, late summer into fall, and this is just where you're really starting to get those pears coming out. And
Exactly. We have some lime. I'm going to zest some lime into the pot.
I wasn't expecting lime, that's for sure.
And then
That's awesome.
I'm going to take the lime itself, split it,
And more juice.
and we're going to add more juice to it. And throw those right
Smells
in.
really good.
We have some sugar. And a pinch of salt.
Okay.
There we go. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that around. We're going to let those pears poach. Now, if you have parchment paper, you can put it on top, okay? And that'll help hold it down, especially if you're doing a bunch of pears.
Right.
So you can put some parchment paper on top of that and it'll keep it submersed. If not, you can just let it go. You need a toothpick to check it from time to time. You still want it fairly firm,
Right.
okay? But you do want it to be a little bit soft on the outside.
Okay, because eventually they'll just fall apart.
They'll
right?
just fall apart. You'll
just
end
like
up
as
with
if you're
like
pear sauce.
Yep,
Like
exactly.
applesauce.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the vinaigrette, we're going to start making.
Okay.
Okay. I have a sauce or a saute pan on. I have some red and white onion. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to add some white wine. Now, a little bit of salt and just a touch of pepper. Now, what happens here is when we're cooking the onions down with that amount of wine, it really starts to sweeten them up and soften them nicely. So you're not going to get chunks of onion into your vinaigrette.
Right,
Okay, it's going to
right.
be nice and soft. They're going to be blended. You could puree the whole thing after it's done.
Okay.
But by adding the white wine, it cooks
Okay,
it down
that's
nicely,
nice.
adds a nice little bit of acidity to it,
Because
and
some
then
onions
sweetens it up.
can really be sharp, right?
Overpowering.
They really
They
can.
could be.
And I love onion, but sometimes even red. I'm like, if you eat a lot, sometimes red is just whoo.
Yeah. And you know what? It's when you cook it down, it does soften it up. If you do want to do it fresh, you can do it fresh. Just chop it extremely
Tiny,
fine.
tiny.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very fine. So we're going to take our lettuces now, and I'm just going to start plating this while that's cooking. So we have both of those on. Okay. Now the pears do take time. Okay.
Sure.
Those pears are probably going to take about 25 minutes to cook.
Okay.
Now, what you'd want to do is, once the pears are cooked, you're going to remove it and you're going to let them cool. If you don't want to do them cool, you want to do them warm, you can do it warm. The only problem is you got to serve the salad right away because what happens is it'll start wilting down that lettuce as soon as the warm pear hits it.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
it can be served either way. You
So
just-
it would be good like that.
it would be good,
but
yeah. You just have to be
say-
careful, about how long it sits.
Okay,
So it's
okay.
a little bit more forgiving when it's cool. So then we have our baby arugula. Now, the baby arugula, it's got a nice little spicy note to
It
it,
does.
a little peppery. a little bit of woodsy flavor as well, so it gives you that outdoor. We're just going to mix them around.
And very healthy greens to be eating as well. So
They are very
very
nice.
good for you.
Very nice.
I always mix. I mix those two a lot together.
It's a nice combination. It is a nice combination. All right. Now, as this starts to reduce, I'm just going to keep adding that wine. So for the amount of onions we have in there, you look at the amount of wine. I used almost half a liter of wine.
Oh my goodness, that seems almost wasteful. Just kidding.
And you're just going to keep cooking it down, keep cooking it down, adding that wine, making sure that those are nice and soft. They start to caramelize. You can even see just the way that the onions, the liquid around there is bubbling.
Yes.
It's almost coming to a rolling bubble.
Right.
That's the sweetness of those onions coming out. That's making that, really adding a certain amount of sugar to that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good, very good.
So, what else we're going to do? We're going to add a little bit of lime zest
Okay.
to the top of this. Now, this is going to give it that nice flavor when you're eating it. You're just going to get every little bit, you're going to get a little bit of citrus out of that.
To do that. That's a great idea. And of course, you have it in with the poached pears as well, so it's going to just carry that flavor through.
Right. Now, this what it does in the poached pears is it's going to balance the sugar from both the cremovo and the sugar I added.
Right.
And here, you're just going to get that hint of citrus every
Okay.
once in a while.
All right, so what we'll do is we're going to let these onions cook down a little bit. We're going to take a quick break and we'll come back and put this salad together. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of Terra. Make your dreams come true at Terra, where color lives. Welcome back to Terra at Home, back with Chef Mark from La Piazza Allegra, and finishing up this beautiful salad.
Yes.
So, finally poached those lovely pears.
Yeah, we poached the pears. Now, what I did is I put one in the fridge very quickly and cooled it off. Okay. So what we're going to do, so you can still see, the poaching liquid came around the outside of that.
Yes.
If you want it poached further, just leave it in longer.
Okay. All right. The
And then-
smell was amazing though with the cloves
Oh,
and
it's
the wine,
beautiful.
and that was a very nice combination.
So we're going to slice up this pear.
And you're getting nice color too from that as well, right?
It does. You know what? The Marsala wine really stains it, so it gives it a nice color. And then you're going to put some onto the salad. Now, this is up to you how much you want to put. I mean, there's no real right or wrong
Right.
amount of pear that you put on. If you want to make a heartier salad, something a little bit bigger for lunch,
Sure.
then put a little bit more pear. Then we have some olive oil.
Okay.
We're going to drizzle that. And then we have those onions that we cooked down with the wine.
Oh,
And I'm using the wine as the acid for the salad itself. So like I said, you can puree this whole thing and then turn it into a complete puree, or you can leave it the way it is. It is soft enough that you can eat it.
That's
So we're
lovely.
gonna put them on.
Just a reminder, our recipes can be found on terragreenhouses.com as well. Chef Mark's been kind enough to share.
No problem. There we go.
And the giant block of
And
cheese.
we're going to take the giant block of cheese and we're going to shave some right on top.
Awesome. What a great combination. And it just a really lovely flavors, light, perfect for summer, the heat. You have a nice healthy salad.
It's a great dish.
It
It's a
is.
fantastic dish.
It's good. And as you're saying, it might take a little bit of time, but
Yeah,
In
the
the
vinaigrette
end.
and stuff like that, you make ahead of time, you can keep it, and then you don't have to worry about it.
And
You don't
then
have to
you're
do it
good to
every
go.
time.
I love that. Oh, we can always go to your restaurant too. Thank you so
Okay,
much, Chef
no
Mark. All
problem.
right, that's it for Terra at Home. Have a good weekend. When I dream in color. When I think of color, I think of Terra. Make your dreams come true at Terra, where color lives.